We are heading into overtime on 1620 The Zone. Shock the system. Welcome to the After Hours Lounge on 1620 The Zone, the 1620 The Zone app, and 1620thezone.com. When 6A to 6P isn't enough, the boys have you covered. Here's Jimmy Allen and John Schreiner.
Happy Thursday, everybody. I don't remember what day it was of the week. Work week's not quite over yet. It is a Thursday night here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. Head over to bellevue.edu, register for classes, and become a Bruin as early as tonight. Jimmy Allen, John Schreiner, Dan Campion with you here on a Thursday. We got a ton to get to. We got two great guests. John Schreiner's here, but John Walker of the Omaha World Herald is going to join us at 7:30.
The other one.
Yeah, Brian Munson is going to join us at 6:30. We'll talk all things Husker recruiting and Creighton basketball with those guys. What is a Hall of Famer? How do you define it? We'll tell you at 6:15. Also, we're going to get to something that is trending on social media that Dan Campion doesn't even know about yet. We'll tell you what that is at 6:45. You can get a hold of the show, 402-951-1620. You can also follow the show at After Hours 1620 as well. You good?
No.
Right.
The computer sitting in front of me is just
the gremlins are at it, huh?
Just hanging out. It's
all right.
On vacation.
Technology is great when it works. You can hold the show, speaking of technology, at After Hours 1620 on Twitter as well. I don't know if you guys know that there's a game of great significance this Sunday.
Which one?
The Pro Bowl.
The Hall of Fame game.
The Pro Bowl flag football game. Easy for me to say.
Never heard of it.
Super Bowl is this weekend. And it really feels like there isn't very much energy around this game, and people kind of seem ho-hum about it. Is that what you're seeing in your circles as well?
Well, I think there's just like this overwhelming resignation about the whole thing that Seattle's just going to stomp New England. Like
sure.
That's everything that I've heard so far is just everyone, like basically anyone that I talk to who has opinion on sports is like, yeah, Seattle's going to kill them.
Yeah, that's
like,
listen, man, I've been adamant about this all year. I think that Seahawks defense is just that good, and I think it's going to be looked at as one of the best of all time by the time we're done talking about them.
Of all time? I don't know.
One of, not the, but one of the.
Yeah.
I mean, you win a Super Bowl, you're usually discussing that conversation anyway.
So, yeah, I think that it's just one of those Super Bowls where the outcome is everybody thinks they have a bead on it, you know? It's not like some of those games are like, oh, it could go this way, it could go that way. You don't know what's, last year it was, can the Chiefs continue the reign and do the Eagles have what it takes to break up the Chiefs dynasty? And
spoiler alert, they did. So there
was some intrigue there. You didn't know how it was going to go. I think a lot of people just feel like they know how this game is going to go, and whether they end up being right remains to be seen. But I think there isn't a built-in mystery about the game, so to speak.
Yeah, and that I think everybody last year felt like the Eagles were going to win that game.
Yeah.
At least somewhat. I mean, I don't think anybody's seen a 40-point game, but I think everybody kind of felt like, okay, it feels like the Eagles are the better team.
Yep.
But Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are standing right there.
Yes.
So there is that aspect of it. And obviously, that didn't end up mattering. But for the longest time, it was who can unseat the Patriots or who can get over the Patriots hump this year. And then obviously, since the Mahomes, Kelsey, Reid dynasty in Kansas City, there's been they're good, but are they good enough to beat this team or break up a three-peat or be the gap team between the years that they win a championship? Or on the flip side of that, hey, Kansas City did win the Super Bowl last year. Can they put it back together and win another one this year? So there's the age-old debate. Do we actually like dynasties? I mean, everybody hated the New England Patriots, the Tom Brady Patriots, but listen, people watched them to try to watch them lose football games and watch them lose Super Bowls for sure. And I just this isn't the Legion of Boom team, and you don't have the personality like a Marshawn Lynch to draw you to the Seahawks, in my opinion. There's obviously there's the Mike Vrabel of it all in New England, but you don't have the Tom Brady-esque personality, and it kind of feels like they don't belong yet to some degree.
The other thing is I think the two quarterbacks are virtual unknowns, right?
Yeah.
I think everybody kind of thought they knew what Sam Darnold was and wrote him off.
Yeah, he was left for dead by a lot of people, me included.
And now he's back, and it's kind of confusing.
Well, hold on, he's not back. He's here for the first time.
Sure, but I mean, he's in the public consciousness again, right? Because after the Jets And after Carolina, it's like, well, he had a good season with Minnesota, but okay, whatever, fine. And now it's sort of like Sam Darnold's, back when he was drafted by the Jets as like the second coming, right? Yeah. He was the next big thing, and it never worked out. So that guy kind of gets shoved to the back of your mind. He's not in the consciousness, really. Well, now he's back in the consciousness, and people, I think, don't know what to do with that. And then you have Drake May, who is only in his second year. So it's like, we don't know much about these guys. We don't have strong opinions about these guys, or at least we've had to change our opinions from what we thought we knew.
Yeah, because people have some pretty strong opinions about Sam Darnold.
Absolutely.
And I don't necessarily know if it's not. Listen, the quarterbacks drive the conversation, right? That's the way the NFL is, and that's the way it's made up. But you don't have that, like, and Jackson Smith-Njigba does it on the field, but he's not the diva personality at wide receiver. You don't have that big time smack talking defensive back that really garners the attention, like a Richard Sherman did previously with the Legion of Boom. Like there's not a Bill Belichick stoic historic presence on the sideline. There's just so, like, everybody is either young, first timer, or whatever, and there's just, like, I think everybody's just kind of waiting to see how all the smoke clears rather than having an opinion before the game, which is usually very opposite of Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, so I was gonna point out, it does seem like a lot of the people who garner the attention on this team, on both of these teams, are very young. And I don't know if it's just like because of my Twitter bubble that I kind of sit within, but I haven't seen, like, especially with media days going on right now and them being out in front of the press basically constantly, I haven't seen much like, hey, like, what do you think about the Seahawks defense? What do you think about Drake May as a quarterback? Like, not much like X's and O's content.
It's not a very takey Super Bowl.
Well, I've seen like a lot more like, hey, Drake May, what's your least favorite thing that Ann Michael has made during Bake Miss? Like, and I get it. I love a guy who loves his wife as much as the next person, but I do want to hear, like, Drake May break down the Seahawks defense. I do want to hear Jackson Smith-Njigba talk like a little bit about coverages and probably having to go up against Gonzalez the entire game.
Yeah.
It's like, we're not getting the same kind of push and pull that we got from last year's Super Bowl.
Dan, you said that, it got me to think about this. It's not only does, like, the fan bases or the fans themselves feel unfamiliar with the other team, the teams seem like they feel unfamiliar with each other as
well. Which is weird,
right?
Because we just had the Super Bowl not that long ago.
Yeah, but think about all the personalities that have changed on both of these teams. Yeah. And the fact that they were able to get back here is absolutely, and maybe more of a tip of the cap to Mike Vrabel, because, listen, New England tanked a little bit harder than Seattle did. But, I mean, obviously both these guys have done a fantastic job.
And they've rebuilt really well. Both these franchises, like, since they were last in the Super Bowl, have undergone some pretty lean times and have had to go undergo rebuilds. But as far as rebuilds go, they've done it pretty quickly.
Right. What are the two things you usually rebuild with? An established head coach or an established quarterback?
Yeah.
Neither of these teams had that. Obviously, Mike Vrabel had his run in Tennessee before he was in New England. But, I mean, this is year number 1 back in New England and the first year in the head chair. And then when we talk about Mike Macdonald, I think he's a guy that's going to be on a lot of people's we got to learn more about this guy's board.
Sure.
Because he's got a huge personality. And I think he will be that guy after this Super Bowl. And listen, it helps when you got a ring to have some swagger to go along with it as well. But, like, it feels like from the New England side, everybody's like, this is a real good story and good for Mike Vrabel, and they should just be happy to be here. And we know Seattle's going to win, but we'll see what he can do going forward. More people seem intrigued by the future of these two teams than the championship game they're about to play on Sunday.
Yeah, it's interesting how different you feel about a franchise in just a few short years' time.
People are rooting for New England in this game. I mean, I am like, rooting for New England in this game.
The casuals
because
and
I hate one of the other team.
10 years ago, the casuals and partials would have been absolutely destroying the Patriots. Like, they would have done anything to not have the Patriots win a Super Bowl. And now it's like, oh, Patriots, cool story, man.
Good for Drake May.
Yeah.
One of my happiest moments as a football fan. Keep in mind, I haven't been alive for my team winning a Super Bowl. And I'm still very young in my youth when it happened. But when Russell Wilson threw that interception on the goal line, there weren't many more Patriots fans that were happier than me in that moment. I was like, "Thank you, Pete Carroll, for being an absolute idiot in this situation."
Richard Sherman's reaction is still the best.
Or when Darrelle Revis gave up the touchdown too, that was also. What does it say about Sam Darnold if he wins this game on Sunday? Because it feels like it's not going to be about him, right? It's going to be his defense and Kenneth Walker and the run game and Jackson Smith and Jigba.
I don't know, man. I think it is going to be about him. I think it's kind of going to be about the Sam Darnold reclamation project and how maybe sometimes teams give up on quarterbacks a little too soon and fit matters. And I mean, look at what Daniel Jones was doing at the start of the season.
Yeah, before he got hurt.
People were ready to throw him in the trash 2 years ago.
The Giants did.
And the Giants finally said, okay, we're done with you now. And all he did was for the first 6 weeks of the season, make Indianapolis the best team in the league.
Yeah, when he was healthy, they went 7-1, right? I do think the turnovers is going to be interesting because obviously Sam Darnold, that's been something that's plagued him his entire career.
Sure.
And I got on this train at the end of last year. I'm just of the volition. If you've played for the Panthers, the Jets, or to some degree the Jaguars,
Browns.
I'm just gonna and the Browns. Thank you. I knew I was missing a team. I'm just gonna wait to formulate an opinion after you leave that franchise.
Yeah.
Because how many guys have gone to those franchises? We'll throw the Cardinals into that equation, I guess, to some degree, but have gone to those franchises.
Oh, so you're willing to give Kyler Murray a second chance?
Not in San Francisco. You can take him wherever else you want. But listen, I would have said the same thing about Sam Darnold too, though, right? Like,
sure.
It just feels like there is a ceiling for those franchises and specifically their quarterbacks. And they never break. Like, doesn't matter who it is. Like, think about we mentioned Carolina and Cleveland. Think about how much different Baker Mayfield's career has been since he's left Carolina and Cleveland.
Sure. I don't know what happens with the New York Jets and with the Cleveland Browns, and it just seems like it doesn't matter who their coach is or who their ownership group is. Like the players that go there in recent history. Now, look, the Jets had some pretty good years with Sanchito and
tell that one butt fumble.
Fitz magic.
Old Mr. Ryan. But since then,
famously Rex Ryan left, and I kind of feel like that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah. It's a black hole, man.
Thanks, Adam Gase.
That's where players go to either lose their career or get lost for a few years.
When we brought up Carolina and New York, specifically the Jets and the Panthers, because Sam Darnold's path there. But when you look at his numbers, he never threw for more than 19 yards. That was his best season. That was his second year in New York. He never threw for more than 10 touchdowns after that until he got to Minnesota last year, where he threw for 35. Now listen, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison are going to do you some favors. But he threw and we'll throw Jackson Smith and Jigba into that equation. But you could put 3 of his years together where he didn't equal up to 4,000 yards. And he's got back-to-back 4,000-yard seasons on 2 different teams.
It was a failure of identification on the part of the Vikings because I think they thought just exactly what you said. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, we can get anybody to throw 35 touchdowns to those guys.
Listen, I don't hate the train of thought. You've got to think about it from what I just said though out loud, right? Sam Darnold did not throw double-digit touchdowns as a starter in back-to-back seasons, and he walked in and did it. So
there
they probably
was no indication.
Let's pay the young kid. Let's get this guy off our books because we've got these 2 superstars that could save our franchise when we could save some money.
Going into last year, there was no indication that was going to be what happened. You would have said. Anybody
you talk about Sam Darnold
who was predicting that season would have said, well, the Vikings are probably not going to be very good and they'll have a different starting quarterback by midseason.
Sure.
So I think it was surprising even to them that it worked out as well as it did. And they failed to recognize what was actually working. And he went to the Seattle Seahawks, who do not have as good a receiving core. Jackson Smith and Jigba, very good, no doubt.
But now we're having the conversation. Is Sam Darnold making him better?
Look, you can't ignore it.
Yeah, which I don't think anybody had that on their bingo card 2 years ago.
I think it also for Sam Darnold specifically, when you want to just look at that one example.
Which one? Minnesota?
No, just Sam Darnold.
Oh, okay.
As like your test case. I don't really know who he would have been throwing to in Cleveland. Carolina is just such a messed up situation that like the Tepper family, you don't really have a good kind of.
You feel a lot better about Bryce Young these days than you used to, though, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, you don't really have a good eyeball though for what that could have been in Carolina. And I do think of all the places that he has been, the one place where he should have gotten a little bit more rope is Carolina, because they didn't really make an effort to build around him or Baker when they were there. And it didn't really
Matt Rule
jive or make much sense. And then I think all of that time led him to his time in Minnesota to be able to say, all right, I know what I have to do when I am on offense. These are my checks. These are like the reads that I'm supposed to look to first. And he got lucky in the fact that in Minnesota, his first two reads were Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson,
who are good at football.
Yeah. And so as a young quarterback, I'm still going to call him young because he's younger than I am. You have the sort of
he's still young
pump up there of like, okay, I am a good quarterback. I have the confidence. I know how to read a football field. I know how to play the position and I can do well. Then gets cut from Minnesota, moves on to Seattle, and immediately in training camp probably said, all right, I need to find out who our best receiver is so that I can make him look number one no matter what. And the Seattle Seahawks said, we have this fun little plaything called Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah.
You're really going to like throwing him the ball because he can just sprint 50 yards and catch it on the fly like no one else.
It is one of the most remarkable career turnarounds I think we've ever seen.
Without a doubt, in my opinion.
Because like when he got let go by the Jets, you just figured he'd fade away. It was just that sort of.
Some people felt like he did.
He was labeled a bust, and it was like, all right, this is a guy we don't have to think about anymore. And here he is in the Super Bowl. It's remarkable, man.
You know, I think it's going to be really, and I brought up the win situation because I think if they lose, New England finds a way to win this game. And again, I'm being very adamant. I don't think that's going to happen. If New England finds a way to win this game, Sam Darnold signed a $100 million contract with Seattle, but it's only for 3 years. And you have to wonder.
He's 30.
Well, he's 28, but he's going to be 31 by the time it's the end of his
Darnold. Are you sure?
Yeah, I literally just looked it up.
I thought he was already 30.
28, 1997. 1997 was 28 years ago.
Okay.
In case anybody wants to feel really old, by the way. But I think it's really intriguing if they lose this game, what the future of Sam Darnold in Seattle looks like, right? Because, yes, $100 million is a boatload of cash, but only 55 of that is guaranteed. So that means after year two, they can cut bait. If they don't win this Super Bowl and he goes on to have a regression year the following year, we may be having the same conversation about is Seattle making the right move, moving on from Sam Darnold to maybe a rookie quarterback 2 years from now.
I'll tell you, though, for a veteran quarterback, $100 million in 3 years these days is
ain't
not
too
that
shabby.
much.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
I think
I'm more concerned with the longevity of the contract than I am the amount of the contract, and especially with 55 of it guaranteed, which means after 2 years, he's essentially paid in full and you can renegotiate that deal.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because like if he wins, they probably extend it.
Without a doubt. But I think he absolutely has to win the Super Bowl to get an extension, and I think it absolutely has to do with everything we've had at the front end of this conversation with. But is he Sam Darnold? You know what I mean? Like, okay, he's this guy from the last 2 years, been one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Those first 5, though, I got a lot of questions.
I have a prediction. In 2028, I'm going to say July of 2028, we're going to be sitting in chairs, talking into microphones, saying, can you believe that the Seattle Seahawks just re-signed Sam Darnold for $500 million or something wicked like that?
I'm going the other direction, man. I mean, this just seems to be the way of the NFL right now. If you don't feel like your guy is the guy to get you over the hump and is solidified as elite,
then what are the Cowboys doing?
But I think we can all agree that Dak is not the problem in Dallas, though, right? There's a lot of
Dak's never winning a Super Bowl.
But there's the regression. Like, do you feel like you can automatically get somebody better? And listen, are we sure that Dak is going to be in Dallas after next season? Because I'm not.
Yeah, who knows?
If they don't sign George Pickens, he's not. He's kind of subtly said that on record.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be his decision if that's the case. But hey, if you missed our discussion about Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl and you missed it, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Aloe Fiber. I made the switch to Aloe Fiber 2 years ago. I have not seen a spinning circle on my TV since then. If you're worried about maybe your internet connection reaching your bedroom because your Wi-Fi router is all the way on the other side of the house, and for some odd reason it just can't make it up your stairs, or your kids being on the tablet slows down your internet connection, you don't have a full gig straight to your house. That's what I have in my house. We don't deal with buffering anymore. You don't need to deal with it either. Head over to aloefiber.com/Husker Radio and sign up for the official internet, TV, and mobile provider of the Huskers. Check out aloefiber.com for more details tonight. Is Dan Campinen a Hall of Famer? We'll tell you. 1620 Zone.
Hey, everybody, it's John Schreiner here for Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. Do you like the finer things? Do you like the finer things when it comes to your clothing? Are you missing some of those in your wardrobe right now? Well, the best brands in the business can be found right here in the middle of Omaha. 78th and Dodge, Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. They have got it all. They've got your Johnny O, your Peter Millar, your Horn Legend. We just got some Horn Legend gear from Jerry Ryan's Clothing and Sportswear. I'm telling you what, you got to get in there and check it out. If you liked the Johnny O, if you've taken our recommendations, the personal favorite of the show, it's Johnny O. We got to try the Horn Legend gear. Boys, I'm telling you.
Hey, girls.
There's a new challenger in the clubhouse. The Horn Legend gear is great. You got to go in there. You got to try it on. It's fantastic. You're going to love it. Also, check out the most comfortable pants, the Brax pants. They look classy, but they're comfortable. You're going to love them. Get in there, try it on, feel it for yourself, and understand when you walk out, you bought the best product that you could get, and it's going to fit you right. They're here for you. They're at 78th and Dodge. They're Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, and they've been dressed in Omaha for over 50 years.
Weather from KETV Newswatch 7 is brought to you on 1620 The Zone by Certified Transmission.
Mostly clear and relatively mild tonight. We look for low temperature into the upper 30s. Mostly cloudy, windy, and much cooler on Friday. Highs will be in the mid-40s. Then we'll keep some clouds and somewhat cooler weather on the way for Saturday as well. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV Newswatch 7.
And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Winter may slow pests down, but it's the perfect time to prepare your home for spring. Rodents, spiders, and other pests often show up indoors this time of year. A winter pest control checkup helps seal entry points now so you're not dealing with pests when warmer weather hits. At Recon Pest Services, we're proud to be a local company and supporting causes that make Omaha better. If you're looking for a pest control partner or even support for a cause, think Recon. Visit reconpestservices.com and get your home ready for a pest-free spring.
If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit OmahaSignsAndWraps.com tonight. That's OmahaSignsAndWraps.com. Sign Ovation, where brands show up and win.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Hey Jays fans, it's hoop season and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vests, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
It's easy to see the common signs of transmission trouble.
If your engine revs before it falls into gear. If it seems to switch gears for no reason.
If shifts are rough, lurching, or clunking.
So watch for the signs.
Because catching it early could mean repair instead of replacement.
And if you do need transmission work, be sure to call
Certified Transmission, the job done right at the right price.
Find a location near you at certifiedtransmission.com.
Hey, Tapper here for Underdog Fantasy. There is just one big game left here in the season, and it's time for you to get in on the action with Underdog right now in Nebraska. If you're not on Underdog yet, then you're in luck because new customers score $75 in fantasy bonus entries when you make your first $5 fantasy entry. As always, playing on Underdog is easy. Just head to the app, make picks on if a player will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, rushing yards, receptions, and more. If you get those right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. Plus, there's new promos dropping daily in the app. So if you like making picks and if you like winning money, which I'm sure you do, then Underdog is the best place to be for the big game. And it's very simple. Higher or lower is the game. What are you waiting for? Download the app today and use promo code HAPPER1620 to score $75 in fantasy bonus entries when you play your first $5 on fantasy. That's promo code HAPPER1620. Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 19 plus and present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
$6:29 on a Thursday night on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. Head over to bellevue.edu, register for classes. You could become a Bruin as early as this fall. No classes on Friday. The majority of your schooling done online. Live sports right on campus alongside you. Brian Munson from Husker Online and On3 now joins us here on After Hours. Munson, how are we feeling?
Way better than I was when you called the first time or asked me to go on the first time. I was in some big trouble. It's funny that you guys asked because I'm literally sitting down to write Tunnel Talk. The week has gotten totally away from me, as you might imagine, between junior day, having the flu starting up on Sunday, kind of mildly blooming on Monday, and then just full blown on Tuesday. It's been quite the week, and things have definitely gotten away from me.
Did Sean believe that you're actually sick, or did he just think you're trying to get out of run right about junior day?
Oh no, he called me because there were several things that were happening on Tuesday, which are going to be part of Tunnel Talk.
Mm-hmm.
And when he heard me, I think he heard a guy that was just hanging on by a very slim thread.
Hey,
there wasn't much there for me to hold out hope for.
Since we don't have you in your normal 7:30 spot, we can get to some stuff so we don't have to rush to end the show. Hey, before we get to Husker stuff, I got to ask, how much are you hate watching on Sunday? The Super Bowl.
Well, it's a 50-50 proposition for me.
That's right. I forgot you're a big Jackson Smith and Jigba guy.
I'm a massive Jackson Smith and Jigba. For those out there that don't know, my son played high school football with him. My son and he are the same age. They played football from basically middle school, 7th grade on up. And my son was actually, down there after the game in Lincoln after he just torched the Huskers. So yeah, we're massive Jackson fans. We love the family. And so we're definitely Seattle fans this weekend. I don't think I have to hate too much about what's going to happen, just because I think Seattle's a really good team. I mean, I just think they have all three areas of the game kind of going on. But yeah, we're looking forward to seeing Jackson, having his opportunities on Sunday. And in one thing, I guess, and all the other stuff that's happened over the last week with Brady being named the head coach for Buffalo, maybe, some quality hires with the coordinators that I wasn't impressed with the head coaching hire. I think the one thing everybody has to kind of really pay attention to with New England, unfortunately, is that Vrabel's a really good coach.
Yeah, he knows
Tennessee the Titans are absolutely idiots for letting that guy go.
Hey, for what it's worth, by the way, Trevor's a much better coach than Jackson is, though. So don't be too discouraged about your son not starting the Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. They still talk to each other. I hear some amazing stories about them still all the time, but we haven't seen Jackson now in probably a year or two. But he's not big time in us too much, but he's got a lot of family that's moved up there to the Northwest with him.
Hey, wanted to get to some of the recruiting news. Obviously, we've had the second signing day go by now.
Yeah.
And Nebraska lands Dylan Berryman. How big a coup is this to get that guy so late in the game?
Well, you are like reading over my shoulder right now. I'm putting a little summary together on Dylan Berryman right now. Dylan Berryman is, the answer to a lot of people's prayers when it comes to just one more interior guy to kind of tie things together for the class. And it's been something that you guys and I have talked about now the last couple of years. We just never saw that kind of dominant inside guy. And I'm not taking anything away from Tyson Terry. I'm not taking away anything else from any of those other guys. I'm looking for more of a true one. Talk to Tyson and what he thinks about, Ulrich being there in Lincoln now and where he thinks he really fits in. And I would bet that he would say a 3-tech. But you really then are still looking for that one. And when you're looking for that one, you're looking for a kid that's north of 300 pounds, preferably, somewhere in that 6'3", 6'4" range. Although you can benefit by having a little stockier looking dude because you win that battle of pad level. So it's just a matter, it comes kind of down to motor and just how guys kind of work off of blocks. And I think Berryman, when he's decided to go out there and just kind of take a game over, he's been able to do it. He has got a tremendous first step. He's incredibly quick. He's a great athlete. He still plays basketball. It's going to be very interesting because, I know he's not going to be there during the spring. It's going to be interesting to kind of see how his conditioning kind of stays up through basketball, to see if he can be in a position to kind of help things out on the defensive line this fall. But it's a pretty big deal. Not even just like in terms of like the player itself, but Nebraska hasn't dipped into Louisiana in a while. That's been pretty fertile grounds typically for Nebraska to go in there, find someone. They lost Leon Noyle obviously earlier on this year that decided to flip to Mississippi State, but you have to go back to A.J. Allen. You got to go all the way back to A.J. Allen now, and that was that's a long time ago. So I think this is a good thing for Nebraska. Obviously, that high school is incredibly talented. Everybody was watching it on the live here, going, "How many guys are they signing today?" I think there must have been at least 8 or 9 guys before they even got to Berryman's name. So that tells a lot about the high school. But yeah, this is a big deal for Nebraska to land him.
Yeah, just a quick one here, Brian. Was there any indication why he wasn't a signee early and why he was still looking to sign here in the late window?
Yeah, so he actually had shown up on one of my visitor lists in November, and I think it was for the USC game. or no, I take that back. It would have been for the Iowa game. And I don't think that Wachita Parish, had been kind of planning on having as good a season as what they did, but they made the playoffs. And when they made the playoffs, he had to scrap the visit plans. And so when he had to scrap the visit plans, so the way, and that's kind of what I'm going to mention here in Tunnel Talk, because the way that it all played out was very, very interesting, because in November, I think Nebraska was the only team that was on his radar. And if he gets a chance to take that visit in November, he likely has already signed and was already, signed, sealed, and delivered. Instead, you had this thing play out where, he's going to take a visit to Nebraska, then Kentucky enters the equation with an offer, and Oklahoma State steps up, and then you have this little thing happen with Florida. So, yeah, I think that things could have been way different had his high school team not had the type of success that they did this season.
So obviously that may answer my next question then, but is there anything from a coaching staff standpoint or a program standpoint that was kind of the catalyst to get him in the boat now?
I don't think so necessarily. It would be nice to kind of think about that, I guess, a little bit. I mean, I think everybody kind of saw the picture of him like in a Ahmad Hudson, which was interesting.
Right.
The two played basketball against one another. I think, generally speaking, however, I think the new coaches in general, from Wade to Orich, the guys that I have been, I've already been impressed with them. So if there is something there in terms of like new blood, little new life when it comes to recruiting, picking things up, I don't think necessarily I'm going to see it too much with Berryman. But I think we are going to see it kind of moving forward. That's been kind of one of the themes coming off of Junior Day this last weekend, has just been the difference, I think, in some of the recruiting of some of the new guys on the staff. So, but I think knowing that Hudson was there, maybe the two, being kind of friendly with one another. But I don't think necessarily anything else beyond that.
Hey, Brian, I also wanted to ask you about the quarterback out of Las Vegas, Vibable. Yeah. I think that's how you say his name. Flipping to JMU. I mean, he was always going to be a walk-on at Nebraska. Is it just a matter of scholarship versus not?
No, he was actually a scholarship.
Oh, he was. Okay.
And he was going to go to. So he had gone kind of from a situation where I think it was like Arkansas State Service Academy's kind of interest, to where Matt Rule understands or gets to know about him a little bit more while they're there in Vegas for the bowl game. Interest picks up, bring him in for an official visit, gets the offer, commits while he's there on Sunday. And then, as kind of things would stretch out over the next 3 weeks or so, James Madison enters into the equation. Madison not only offers him a scholarship, but there's a little bit of money also associated to it. So rather than just taking the offer to come to Nebraska, there was a little bit more on the table for him to kind of go to James Madison. Now, in fairness, I mean, if you're thinking about it in terms of this is your kid or whatever, I mean, what's the likelihood he makes it out of that room and stays a Husker? I don't think it's very good. Sure. Not if the kid ever wanted to play.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Trey Taylor's and living down the street from you, and he's still in high school, and you will see him in December. So whatever's going on in the room right now, and then add Trey Taylor to it, I think that there's enough in front of him there to kind of say, I can, maybe college football is not even my style, or maybe it isn't for me, but I can go get some money over here and then kind of duck out if I need to. So I think it's probably the best bet and the best move for him.
Brian Muntz of Musker Online on 3 joins us here on After Hours. Brian, I want to talk about some former Huskers, or maybe a couple, somebody that was going to come to Nebraska, didn't. We kind of get some news over the weekend. Dayton Raiola commits to Oregon, but the guy I want to bring up for a second is Jamarian Parker, a guy that this coaching staff was really high on, that a lot of people were really high on before his injury, in a room that's not very crowded, like the quarterback room and the running back room. He leaves Lincoln and ends up at Grambling State. Was that a big surprise to you that he ended up at the Grambling State level?
Not really. There's a couple things that are not in Jamarian's favor. Now, first of all, let me say this. I was thrilled that he would think enough of me to call me to tell me he was going to transfer from Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
I got that phone call from him. I thought he had butt dialed me. I'm just gonna be honest with you. But when I got the call and we had a chance to talk, I was immediately reminded about how good of a kid he was, and I was also reminded about how kind of a human situation, how fragile the situation this all is. So Jamarian, when he decides to go into the transfer portal, he had two things kind of against him. Number one, he had been beat up at Nebraska, suffered, had a couple surgeries, one on each knee, in fact. So you have to then kind of play the "are you healthy" game with somebody like that. And then I think number two, I think this is a big one for anybody to kind of try to get around. And you're really gonna have to try to find yourself kind of going down to get back up when you don't have that practical game film that can really show people like what you're capable of doing. That's a problem. That's really a problem. So I think that when you're if you're going to base entirely recruiting a kid then because you're not going to use practice film and you're going to go back to high school and then you got to worry about two surgeries to kind of go on top of it, well, then you're calling for references, and who's going to get the references? Well, Coach Joseph is obviously, at Nebraska. So it makes some sense. I think that he ended up there. I actually thought I had heard that he ended up signing with the Indiana State Sycamores. I think he took an official visit there, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I mean, good on him, because I think things have gone pretty quiet in that space for a while. Not surprising, however, that's kind of the level of competition where he ended up at. Go out there and get some film and turn it back around, and he can be back in D1 in no time.
All right. So we've closed the book on the 2026 recruiting cycle. If you have to take everything into account, the players that have left, the players that Nebraska's brought in as freshmen and in the transfer portal, what's your sort of grading range for the way this staff handled this recruiting cycle?
Yeah, I think I was pretty hard on them earlier this week in chat, and I think that was partly Tamiflu and partly just not feeling well. I think I gave him a D+. I think I probably would still be in that area. I think it'd probably be like more of a C-. And look, I think people have a hard time kind of getting around where the team rankings and the conference rankings kind of leave this class. This class ends up bottom of the conference. I think it ends up like low 90s, like kind of then never really kind of getting some traction. The class itself, it kind of is what it was. I mean, we all expected it was going to be a small class. The way we kind of thought it would work out was that Nebraska would find some places in their roster and in their rooms where they knew there were some holes, and they could go ahead and just find a guy and stick a guy there and move in, because the rest of the roster was so young. And then you kind of go through this season, and then you get into your portal transfer stuff, and you start seeing the changes that are going to happen with the staff, and what's going to drive then the differences with your on the field, needs personnel wise. Your transfers out with Dylan, you're going pro early with Emmett. I think that the running back room is talented, but I think it's a huge risk to move forward without having a more experienced running back there. I'm not taking anything away from anybody else that's there. I think when you don't have an experienced running back, a guy that you can really, really, really depend on to kind of be the bell cow, you don't want to be sorting that stuff out come conference time. And I think that's a massive issue. I thought they did really good in adding experience on the offensive line. I think they got a quality wide receiver. I think that they really would have wanted to have more of a massive space-eating interior defensive lineman. They probably could have used another edge rusher, particularly from the portal. They knocked it out of the park with linebacker. I thought they did really good at safety, and they got themselves a long snapper. I like what they did at quarterback. I mean, between Minchie and Calandria, I think that you're going to find, Calandria is going to be a lot of fun to watch. And I think he's going to get better as kind of time goes on too, while he's there in Lincoln. So I think that when you add that mobility, it may actually help out the running backs, in that backfield, because you just got two guys now that are able to kind of do different things for you running the football. So maybe that does take some of the pressure off the running backs room, but I'm still in that C-. Maybe I'm kind of on the backhill slide of this flu thing, and I can go ahead and give him a little bit of a break. I love the Berryman ad, the Vivable, the Tanner, whatever his name was now. Losing him is a little bit of a downer because you had that fourth quarterback in the room, but again, I don't know practically, real practical, what was he ever going to ever amount to at Nebraska? I'm not sure it was really going to be there unless he's just going to just kind of blow it all out of the water, especially with Trey Taylor coming in December. So about a C- right now, I'd say.
That's Brian Munson from Husker Online. And on today, if you want to catch that Tunnel Talk that he's referenced a couple times tomorrow on Husker Online, go like and subscribe to Husker Online tonight. B, we appreciate you. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Hey, guys. Appreciate it. Talk soon.
Thanks,
if you missed
B.
Brian's segment tonight, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. Listen, you start turning your furnace on, but you don't hear it click on. Maybe it just takes a while for it to get warm in your house. It might not be your heater at all. It could be your thermostat. And if you want an HVAC company that's not going to upsell you on their services, you need to work with Controlled Comfort tonight. Head over to controlledcomfort.com. Set an appointment with Tony and the team. They'll come out and give you peace of mind about your HVAC this winter. We'll be right back. Dan Kippett's going to tell us what's trending on social media. 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody. John Schreiner here for Bob at Williams Law. Listen, if you got legal trouble, it's no trouble at all. To the man who comes in and talks the legal troubles of the sporting world with us, his name is Bob Williams. He'll sit down with you. He won't charge any money for the first meeting. It's called the free, no obligation legal consultation. Nothing to sign, just getting to know Bob and finding out if it's the right relationship for you, given your legal situation, whether it's criminal, civil, or personal. Bob's going to give you the advice you need to set your mind at ease and get you set for your big day in court. If you got legal questions, you need Bob Williams in your corner. Check out WilliamsLawLLC.com.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
At Timber, they don't just give you a place to go for lunch or dinner. They give you an experience. From their bold, smoky flavors prepared in the open concept kitchen where you get to watch the magic happen, to the relaxing umbrella-shaded patio. There's something for everyone at Timber. Join them for brunch every Saturday and Sunday from 9:30 to 2, plus happy hour from 2 to 5:30 Monday through Saturday, and 2 to close on Sunday. Timberwood Fire Bistro in the heart of Omaha at 84th and Pacific.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort. And we've been in business for 6 decades. And in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you. And that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
For kids, each day is a new chance to dream. It's the same belief that drives care at Children's Nebraska, where small steps become major strides, turning hallways into raceways and finish lines into new beginnings. And families find a team dedicated to creating brighter futures. Because when you believe, better always leads the way. See how we're turning belief into better outcomes at childrensnebraska.org/believe in better.
Since this is a radio commercial, you can't see the people standing behind me. They're the Langfeld family. Everybody wave. Oh, sorry. You can't see them because radio. Anyway, the Langfelds are the family behind Langfeld Overhead Door, where they proudly install Midland garage doors to fit any space and style. And they don't take a backseat to anyone when it comes to their service. Because if something goes wrong, it's their name on the line. So they're going to make sure it goes right every single time. Langfeld Overhead Door, 402-234-2700.
One missed day here, another missed day there. They add up real fast. Attendance matters every single day. Hi, I'm Tim Royers, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Good attendance builds strong routines and gives kids the very best chance to succeed. Show them school is a priority by making every day count, because every absence really does add up. Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You're listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
$6:52 on a Thursday night here at 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. If you haven't had a chance to go catch Coach Ice's team or Coach Gabriel's team down at the brand new BU Fieldhouse, stop down to Bellevue's beautiful campus and check out the brand new $55 million facility that is the Bellevue University Fieldhouse tonight. Also known as the $55 million man is Dan Campion, who has the social media soundbite for us tonight.
Before we get to that, favorite Winter Olympics event, go.
Speed skating.
Speed skating.
Yeah, it was a big Apollo. Okay.
All right. Dan?
Ice hockey, but number one overall forever and ever and ever and ever and ever will be always curling.
Oh, okay.
I love all the curling.
So
That's a recent addition, though.
So the answer to the question is curling, not ice hockey. just checking the scoreboard.
You know what I really enjoy? The luge.
One of these nights, I'm going to come over to this desk on you, Jimmy.
I'm just waiting for it. I'm trying to figure out what the button is to push for Dan Campion to get violent. Let me ask. I have to ask because you're a kid of the 90s.
Yeah.
Cool Runnings play any effect?
That's bobsled. That's not the luge.
Right. Yeah, I'm sorry. Wrong. Different sport.
I like the bobsled.
Sled on a ski is the luge.
There's something about the luge where it's just like
the risk of death.
The threat of death.
Yeah.
is I don't know. There's something about it, man. Those people are nuts.
Poll question up at After Hours: is bobsledding the luge?
It isn't.
No vote. Dan, what's the social media side?
Actually,
there's two options: no or hell no.
One more fun Winter Olympics esque question for the two of you. Do you know where the longest natural luge hill in all of North America is?
Oh, North America. I need the one largest in the world. I don't.
John?
You're probably going to say it's somewhere in northern Michigan.
Is that going to be a surprise if I do?
Nope, because I just said you were going to say it.
I can't believe I didn't get there on that. Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
It's in Negaunee, Michigan.
Yeah.
Is that northern Michigan, though?
It is in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
The UP.
Right next to Ishpeming.
It's just because, like,
that's not a real word.
I had no idea that was going to be the right answer, except that Dan Campion was asking the question.
So, like, on the mitt, it's like up here?
No.
Oh.
It's not on the mitt.
It's on the little tumor that's off of Wisconsin.
So it's like up here?
Some would say it's the best part of Michigan. That's why I always hate when people are like, I'm going to northern Michigan.
I know one person that would say that. Dan, what's the social
I know a
media
different
soundbite
person who would say that.
We're calling Alex Scott one of these nights, so I'm going to be like, defend northern Michigan. A man who is not from northern Michigan Sad. Always sad when I don't get one of those for social media soundbite. It's the majority of the time. But Joe Flacco, the old man of the NFL, has a couple thoughts, and I want to see if you guys jive with old Joe Flacco.
I mean,
Joe Flacco goes on for like 2 more minutes. So I was like, I'm going to cut it.
No, you should let him keep going, actually.
I do like the slight hint of the Delco accent in there.
Oh, yeah.
Do I like it when guys are going over the middle, getting slapped in the head?
New poll question up at After Hour 1620 is Joe Flacco from Northern Michigan.
He's definitely not.
No,
Did
he
you
is
hear
not.
him talk?
No. Thank God somebody said it. And it's a quarterback, right? Like, there's been the just give him the flags mantra around the NFL for so long now that I agree with him, man. Like, we are let me rephrase that. I disagree about letting guys get lit up over the middle. I'm not here for that. But how much we just put this circle around the quarterback and
It's not roughing the passer.
don't hurt him, don't you know? I agree with this. I don't think any touch to the head of the quarterback, especially if it's somebody's left pinky finger ring or pinky nail, should be a flag. I think a 300-pound man at his full speed falling down shouldn't have to brace himself because he's landing on another man in a
Thanks,
contact
Aaron
sport.
Rodgers.
Yeah, I agree. I've thought both of those rules have been really stupid for a long time.
But it's about protecting the investments of the owners.
100%.
That's exactly what it's about.
And so I think he didn't get to like the main quote that everyone is kind of like either like applauding like Jimmy or like just digging their talons in on him about.
I need you to correctly point out that I gave him a standing ovation.
A standing ovation.
Because he deserved it.
He stood up out of his chair.
Yeah.
The big kind of quote that came out of this that everyone's like
There wasn't
either
even
yay
food.
or nay about is we signed up to get hurt. You might not like that, but it's kind of what we did. And he does like before the clip, the portion of it that I played that I thought was like the important crux of the argument that he was making. He basically like called all of like the quarterbacks who were coming into the league nowadays soft.
Yeah.
He was
Babies.
like all of these guys who are coming in now, they're not battle tested because they're not getting like slammed in college. They're not getting slammed in high school. And I was like, I was on the opposite of you guys. I was
booed
like,
him, huh?
I was like, ooh, Joe Flacco, you might be the old man who's like, yelling at the clouds, letting the game pass him by.
Get off my lawn.
And the more he spoke and the more like reasoning he gave, because he goes on to give like at least 10 more examples of like things that he's like, that's really ticky tack. I don't really understand it.
I like the point he
I
made.
was like, yep, Joe Flacco, you're in the right.
I love the point that he made about the refs being able to call it when they want to alter the outcome of a game, because it is one of those things
Subjective.
that is so subjective, and there isn't really a black and white to it. It's, oh, he kind of got near his knees, or he didn't pull off of him enough to where it can alter the game. And
the going low thing too is just like, oh, because Tom Brady got a knee injury, we have to
That one
change the
time.
rules. Come on.
The one thing that I think kind of sticks in my craw about all of this is a lot of these like especially defensive line guys who have the size advantage when it comes to taking down a quarterback. You see a lot of them like pull up and like try to like slow up and tackle the quarterback and let them land on him instead, or like, on the tackler makes the tackle on top of himself.
Yeah.
Instead of just like,
well, my
Reggie doing like a Reggie White and just plowing over him or like chucking him to like the side.
Well, my thing, because obviously, as we just mentioned, this has always been about protecting the most important asset in the quarterback. But my thought was like, think about the contortion it puts on your body trying to fall off of somebody too. And that we didn't really care if a defensive end rips his knee or breaks his arm or dislocates a shoulder, which, by the way, dislocated shoulders in the NFL for defensive linemen, all-time high since this rule has changed.
Ooh.
Yeah. Hey,
What a surprise.
If you missed the social media soundbite tonight, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Recon Pest Services. Listen, it's going to get warmer. It's going to be 66 degrees tomorrow night. You know, you're a liar. That's great news, unless you have, unless you live next to a cornfield or a creek where critters live. You want to keep the critters out of your house, you need to head over to ReconPestServices.com tonight. Let Bo and the crew come out and service your yard to make sure there's preventive action that keeps the spiders, the raccoons, John Shriners all out of your house. Head over to ReconPestServices.com tonight.
That.
Dan Camden, buy or sell?
Paul Davis?
Or no, Paul Davis.
Hey, everybody, it's John here, Paul Davis Restoration. Today was not one of those winter days where you had to worry about your pipes freezing up, but there's probably going to be a few more of them before we get out of the woods here. And if there's an emergency at your house, such as a pipe freezes up and now your basement's full of water, call this number, 402-553-0373. They'll come out, they'll get your house fixed up back to the way it was before the damage happened, and they'll do it in a flash. The emergency response team at Paul Davis, faster than you could even imagine. Give them a call at 402-553-0373. It's Paul Davis Restoration.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Winter may slow pests down, but it's the perfect time to prepare your home for spring. Rodents, spiders, and other pests often show up indoors this time of year. A winter pest control checkup helps seal entry points now so you're not dealing with pests when warmer weather hits. At Recon Pest Services, we're proud to be a local company and supporting causes that make Omaha better. If you're looking for a pest control partner or even support for a cause, think Recon. Visit ReconPestServices.com and get your home ready for a pest-free spring.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
Rail Cars Happy Hour is here. Stop by 144th and Blondo Monday through Saturday from 2:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday from 2 to close, and enjoy $2 to $5 off appetizers, $1 off draft and bottles of beer, and delicious ciders. All signature cocktails are $10. Classic cocktails are $8, and every glass of wine is $2 off. Plus, Rail Cars' incredible brunch menu is on display 9:30 to 2 Saturday and Sunday. Rail Car Modern American Kitchen, 144th and Blondo. When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort. And we've been in business for 6 decades. And in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you. And that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
This is a sale so big that Standard Heating and Air can only do it once a year. Right now, and for a very limited time, buy a Carrier air conditioner from Standard Heating and Air and get a free furnace. On qualifying equipment, for details, call or click.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Top of the second hour on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. You don't become number one in Omaha for over a decade by accident. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. They do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com tonight. Dan Campinen.
Yes.
Captain of this ship. He is the man with the plan and the questions. It's time for buy or sell. Dan, what do you got for us?
Confusion has been caused in the NFL. On his Let's Go podcast with Jim Gray, former Patriot Tom Brady has said he doesn't have a dog in this fight.
Tom F. Brady?
Tom F. Brady, yes. At this year's Super Bowl. Buy or sell, that is just owner's talk, or could it be bad blood?
It's 100% owner's talk / he's also in the broadcast booth, so he can't have a dog in the fight.
Yeah.
He's not supposed to have a dog in the fight.
No,
he's not in the broadcast booth. It's on NBC this year, isn't it?
No, but he's now
in the
works
broadcasting
in a
world.
broadcast booth, famously, you're supposed to be impartial.
This is a lie. Tom Brady absolutely has a dog in the fight. He wants the Patriots to win. He's just being magnanimous for the sake of his broadcasting career.
Can I give you a devil's advocate take? Doesn't Brady seem like that kind of guy that would like hope the Patriots never have success without him, though? He kind of gives me those vibes.
You could get me there, I suppose.
Would you be surprised if Tom Brady was rooting against the Patriots?
Yes.
Me to some degree too, because of Mike Vrabel, but I could understand that the person that
Like I
he
said,
seems to be, I could understand.
You could get me there, but I would still be surprised if it was true.
Dan?
So I think there might be a little bit of bad blood in between Tom Brady and the Patriots, but this is 100% like I have to be impartial. Talk, at least that's sort of what it sounds like. Question for you. Do you remember Frank Reich?
I do. He's
of course.
had several jobs.
After a quick stint in Stanford, he's coming back to the NFL as the OC of the Jets. Buy or sell, OC is a good spot for Frank Reich to make his comeback.
It's a great spot for Frank Reich to make his comeback, just not New York, because that franchise is dead. They don't have a quarterback. Very surprised that that's the job he's taking.
Yeah, I mean, it might have been the only one that was offered. So
Sure.
Anything you can do to get back in the league and any marginal success you have with the Jets is going to make you look good. I mean, the bar is on the floor. All you have to do is step over it, and you're better than anyone they've had. So, I mean, in one sense, you're like, "Oh, why do you want to coach for the Jets?" And in the other sense, you're like, "Well, it's hard to look bad coaching for the Jets."
Dan?
I think it's a good spot for him. It's a bad spot for anybody. It's a good thing that he's an offensive coordinator in the NFL again, because it means he can work his way back up to having a head coaching job somewhere. Because I did always like the energy that Frank Reich had around like being a head coach. He seemed like a kind of like grinder, seemed like a kind of a player's head coach kind of person.
I agree.
But the Jets is not the place for anyone to want to work right now, because I don't know what they're doing on offense. That's going to be probably their biggest question. Moving on, we have an official hot seat, gentlemen, for 2026-2027.
At Rule.
Luke Fickell was denied a customary 1-year extension by the Wisconsin Athletic Board. Buy or sell, this is a little late for the Badgers.
Of course he was.
He declined it himself. Am I wrong?
No, I think he was denied by the board. I think Dan's iteration was correct.
The board officially denied him a 1-year extension, but it's kind of one of those.
You know,
where
John is correct. He actually denied himself.
He declined it.
Yeah, good for Luke Fickell. Way to do the right thing. Keep that same energy when you get that buyout money, buddy. It's weird though, because it kind of feels like they're still all in on him.
Hey,
like it doesn't feel like
weirdly
they're going anywhere, and maybe they just believe in the process. And good for Luke Fickell. Hope it works out for him, except for when they play Nebraska. Actually, no, forget that. I hate Wisconsin. Hope they lose 12 games this year.
I don't think, because of the amount of resources that they're putting into him this year, and that they've allowed him to just like gut the assistants, and I don't know if they're not at least moderately successful this year. I would not be surprised if this is his last year. Like, I think
Probably
they
should be.
They have put all the chips into the middle and said, "This is your chance, bud. We're all in. If you can't do it with this, you can't do it." That's how I'm looking at it right now.
Dan?
I do think, because this apparently was mutual, the story that I read put all of the onus on the Wisconsin Athletic Board and made it seem like Luke Fickell was basically officially in his do it or get out sort of year that he has. I mean, I think Luke Fickell is a good enough head coach that he could turn it around this year, but there's going to be a serious question if I think they don't see 8, maybe 9 wins, to where they're going to say, you're just kind of still putting out duds of seasons for us, bud. Time for you to pack it up and get on out of here.
The conversation about Luke Fickell got me to thinking about that group of coaches from that 2023. Obviously, Matt Rule, part of it. Obviously, Luke Fickell, a part of that class. You think Jimmy Shadwell has any buyer's remorse leaving Coastal Carolina to take the job at Liberty?
Well, they were not good last year.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, he was kind of like this. Liberty was thought to be like the stepping stone for him. They finished 4-8 last year.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, I wouldn't want to coach at Liberty, but Coastal Carolina, I don't know. It was always weird to me, because it felt like an absolute lateral move.
Yeah, it felt like
it was not a step in any direction. Yeah. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, well, I'm going to take a lesser job, reduce some of the pressure, and just take some time back for myself. And it wasn't like, hey, I'm taking the big job to make a bunch of money. It was like,
kind of felt like he wore out his welcome, didn't it?
You just moved across the street, bud. Like, you moved from a 3-bedroom house on the left side of the street to a 3-bedroom house on the right side of the street. What are we doing? You've just created work for yourself by moving across the street.
That like the top end of that 23 class though, like with Rule and Fickell and Prime, like we're kind of the headliners. Then like Hugh Freeze was kind of thrown into that equation.
He's gone.
Right. But like, there's some names in that class that have just been like, we're kind of like C-level hires. Like Kenny Dillingham was part of that class at Arizona State.
How's he doing?
Yeah, he's one of the most sought after coaches in the country. Scott Satterfield obviously has had some success at Cincinnati. There's Ryan Walters of it all, but we're not going to get into that. But Brent Key, obviously at Georgia Tech, has done really well. And there was Barry Odom, obviously found himself a better job than UNLV. There's Trent Dilfer, but Biff Poggi. There's been some, like, the guys that were thought to be afterthoughts of that class going to end up being the cream of the crop.
Yeah. I think like there's like the jury's still out on Matt Rule. I don't think you can make a determination until either well, I mean, the future's the future, right?
Those are the three guys though. It was Matt Rule,
Yeah.
Luke Fickell, and Deion Sanders that were like the sought after guys at that time, and hasn't really been great for any of them.
I would say of the three though, if you can say any of them have an arrow that's not pointing down, it's Matt Rule, and his might be pointing just sideways.
Yeah, I agree with. Dan, what else we got?
Well, I'm going to make this the last question.
Okay.
Because
we got to get to John Walker.
I like the clock. We got to get to John Walker. Gentlemen, I'm having a bit of trouble wrapping my mind around pro golf right now. Yes, this is the random Dan question of the night. We have seen and heard a lot from the PGA and LIV over the last few years. This might take the cake. The top 10, finishers in LIV events this season will be awarded OWGR points. That's official world golf ranking points for those not keeping score at home.
So they can be ranked in the world golf rankings.
Yeah. Buy or sell, a merger can't come soon enough.
Sell, because LIV just needs to go away.
Yeah, no merger.
LIV needs to stop.
die
Have
off.
you seen how much they're reducing the season winner payout by?
Oh, a ton.
It's like they've dropped it by like 70%. And it's almost like there was never a solid revenue plan for this golf league. It was just, we're going to try to take all these good golfers and force the PGA Tour's hand to merge with us, and then we'll have the revenue. And the PGA Tour has been like, good luck, bud. We're not doing that.
Well, the thought process was, we'll just become the PGA.
Yes.
Never mind.
We'll just take it over.
Decades of work that has gone into establishing that tour.
And now they've cut the season-long winners prize from like $65 million to $8 million.
Yep.
Which makes you wonder, like, what does the PGA, as soon as it folds, just go, come back home, my sons? Or do they go, hey, Phil? And Phil's probably going to be off the table by the time
once
he's so old,
LIV
but-
folds, Phil's done.
Yeah,
so.
but I mean, there's some guys that
he
have-
could still play on the senior tour.
there's some guys that have joined that tour that I just wonder, like,
Bryson,
you're welcome.
Cam Smith,
you're welcomed back, because it
Yeah.
probably doesn't feel like it. And is it going
all the South Africans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Ooh, what are you going to do?
I don't think a merger is coming, because there's no value.
Charles.
For there to be a merger, the PGA would have to see some value in it.
Right. And
what would they be buying at this point? It's not like there's live events that are worth anything.
the only thing that LIV has is a few popular golfers. But without the underlying structure to fund the organization, having popular golfers doesn't matter, because they're not going to play for you if they're not getting paid.
Yeah, because Saudi Arabia is too busy buying WrestleManias.
Saudi Arabia is too busy buying sports.
Yeah, true.
My big thing that I've kind of been hemming and hawing about for the last couple days about this is, number one, I understand the need to give these LIV golfers official world golf ranking points in any regard, because that was the big thing last year. Was they were
they're
like,
professional golfers playing in professional events. Like, they should be ranked in some form or fashion,
Can I
right?
ask the question that I clearly know the answer to, since I watch so much golf, and this is not for me to know in any particular way?
Mhm.
What do those rankings go towards? Like, how does that benefit?
It's like being ranked number one in the world. Like, it's the
right, but that's
So-
Is there any benefit to that other
Yes.
than when you show up to an
Yes.
event? Okay,
Yes, there is.
All right, that's what I'm asking.
So a really good
That's what the people probably want to know.
a really good example of this
'Cause
is
I know what's going on. I know
is John Rahm and Bryson DeChambeau.
don't like each other.
No, they like each other a lot.
Okay,
They're like actually really good friends.
Sure.
But they were two of the only LIV golfers who were allowed to show up at the Open last year.
Okay.
And that is specifically only based on
the fact that they
the
have points.
OWGR points.
I gotcha. Okay.
Because for the four majors, they don't invite just anyone unless you can qualify for it in some way, which is apparently a lot harder than I thought it was. And
Feels like it probably should be.
it's if you win like specific tournaments, that is how you get an invite. Or if you're, I think it's the top 60 in the official world golf rankings.
I gotcha.
And if they don't get
or you get a
points towards
sponsor's
that-
exemption.
Yeah. Which you don't generally for an open. or
Because
anything
most
like
people
that.
playing probably have a couple points next to their name.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's the benefit to being number one?
you're the best golfer in the world.
No, but you said there's a benefit to like being like you said it's like being number one.
No,
Is there a benefit? You said
no.
yes.
It's being recognized. It's like, what's the benefit of being number one in the top 25 poll?
You have a better chance of making the college football playoff for the national championship.
Sure, but it's also the prestige of having that number one next.
So
to
that's
your
the
name.
only benefit to it.
I
That's
mean,
what I'm asking. Like I didn't know if there was like you get to pick your own tee time or your group or whatever it is.
Among being in.
That would make sense, right? Like
it would.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm just
It's the automatic invites to the majors, and it's that that ego boost of being the number one golfer in the world.
And there's another like one of the big things about it that I think
I'm asking Google.
A lot of guys like really take pride in is like there was, I think it was like 97 to like 2003 or 4. Tiger Woods was wire to wire for like 7 straight years, the number one golfer in the entire world. And that's like a huge prestige that like everyone is like, it's a record. So people always try to like beat it, but no one can, except for a guy named Scotty Scheffler, who's really, really close to starting to kind of hunt in on the consecutive weeks number one in the world record. It's all just for
you guys are way off, by the way. There's a ton of benefits. Financial incentives such as the Players Impact Program, as of 2025 Players Equity Program can pay out millions of evidence by top players receiving significant bonuses such as $8 million per ranking. So whatever the player equality program is, it pays out more depending on your ranking.
I don't know anything about the Players Equality
Obviously.
Program.
Don't you guys watch golf? This is pretty basic news.
I don't think it's not basic.
According to Google, anyway.
It's really weird. I saw Scotty Scheffler on the side of the road thumbing a ride to the last tournament. So
Probably trying to get arrested.
He got
Kind of
arrested by the
strange.
cops.
We're gonna get to
And
John,
he was number one.
We're gonna get to John Walker of the Omaha World Herald when we come back. Obviously, some rocking news in the Creighton sphere yesterday. We'll get his thoughts on the Georgetown loss and more. If you missed our conversation about live golf and you want to learn something, because these two yahoos couldn't teach it to you, go check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you
just cool it
by Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. It may be January, but we were just talking about the links. And if you're getting ready for golf season a little bit earlier, maybe get ready for Father's Day in the summer. What should I get my dad? It's not too late to stop by 76th and Dodge. Start scouting golf polos now. You can also get ready for wedding season while you're there. Head over to Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. They have been dressing Omaha for over 50 years. John Walker of the Omaha World Herald. We come back on 1620 The Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Aloe Fiber. I made the switch 2 years ago to Aloe Fiber, and not only do we get the all-fiber network right up to our house, we also don't have to worry about sharing that network with the rest of our neighbors. There's no downtime due to bandwidth restrictions. My kids are on their tablets. I'm streaming football games. My wife is watching the Real Housewives upstairs. No slowdown in our internet speed whatsoever because we don't have to worry about network sharing. If you're sick of sharing with your neighbors, I'm sure they're nice. You don't have to give them your internet. Head over to aloefiber.com/Husker Radio tonight.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit OmahaSignsAndWraps.com tonight. That's OmahaSignsAndWraps.com. Sign Ovation, where brands show up and win.
Hey Jays fans, it's hoop season and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vests, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from IQBar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at eatiqbar.com/policy/terms of service.
Hi, I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, ultra-low sugar brain and body fuel. Our IQ Bar plant protein bars help you refuel smarter. Our IQ Mix Zero Sugar Hydration Mixes help you hydrate harder. And our IQ Joe Instant Mushroom Coffees help you caffeinate larger. All three product lines boost physical performance, but they also boost mental performance via nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane. Right now, you can try our epic IQ Bar Ultimate Sampler Pack with 9 protein bars, 8 hydration mixes, and 4 coffee sticks. Win your day with clean ingredients, amazing taste, and superior brain and body nutrition. Try IQ Bar today.
Get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping when you text IQ Bar to 64,000. Text IQ Bar to 64,000 to get this exclusive radio offer. That's IQ Bar to 64,000.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
$7:27 on a Thursday night here at 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. You don't become #1 in Omaha for over a decade by accident. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate for your windows, your gutters, your siding, your roof. They can do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com. Tonight, we make it 3 weeks in a row. Don't call it a streak, but John Walker from the Omaha World Herald now joins us. John, good evening.
Hello. What's up? How are you guys?
Hey, Johnny. How's it going, man?
We got it rolling, man. We've got a streak going here. We've got you 3 weeks in a row. We haven't had any phone problems. You haven't had any phone problems. I think we got it figured out.
We're rolling, man. You want to play your best radio in February and certainly play your best radio in March, and it seems like we're starting to do that, man.
We're geared up for tournament time. Obviously, last night was a somber night for many reasons, but obviously the Josh Dix news and the loss of his mother kind of rocked this team last night. Greg McDermott caught up with John Bishop after the game and was clearly very devastated and just trying to hold it together for the sake of the radio. We got the chance to talk to Steve Murfeld on the Roll Jays podcast in a very, very similar situation there. What have you heard about just kind of the mental makeup of this team after the news of the Dix family last night and how they kind of handled it getting back to Omaha?
Yeah, I transparently don't know too much. I know about as much as everyone else because, the fact of the matter was they were in D.C. and I was right here in Omaha. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of right here with everybody else, but I've talked to a couple of people around the program today and yeah, like Mac mentioned it on the radio and the people I talked to shared the same sentiment and that that team was very much not just Josh. My condolences to him and his family, but not just Josh, but the team was, I think, as you said, Jimmy, rattled, shocked, by the news, devastated by the news. And just like this group rallied around Blake Harper before the Pinkout game on Saturday, by all accounts, it seems they rallied around Josh Dix last night, and he ended up playing, staying in DC when Creighton made arrangements to get him back to Omaha. And instead he says, no, I'm going to stay with the team. I'm going to play. And he played 30 minutes, hours, after his mom passed. And so that's just like, for everything that has nothing to do with basketball, that was like an all-time game from Josh Dix. Like, I don't think anybody will ever forget that game from Josh Dix, that moment for Josh Dix. And again, it had nothing to do with basketball. Like, he scored 9 points, and that's not what's important. But for him to go do that, and for this team to rally around him, win, lose, whatever was going to happen at Georgetown, as bad as things have been or could be down the stretch, like, this certainly seems like a group that won't fracture along the way.
And I mean, in those tough moments, you kind of not necessarily on the floor, but you learn about the character of a team and a coaching staff. And I thought it was really interesting that, they were ready to, from what Greg McDermott said, like, they were ready to send him home. Like, they had a flight lined up. They were ready to send him back to Omaha, and he said no and wanted to stay. And I wonder what that says about him personally and about the group. Because look, the season's gone the way nobody has wanted it to, basically, right? And for something like that to happen while they're on a road trip, like, I think most of the time you would have been like, look, we're not doing anything with this season. I might as well be home with my family. But he chose to stay, and I think that's, if nothing else, it points at, like, the dedication of Josh Dix and the overall health of the program.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's kind of like Blake Harper. None of the players talked last night. Obviously, Josh certainly didn't. I don't believe Creighton is going to have an availability before the Seton Hall game on Saturday. So,
doesn't sound like it. Yeah.
So like, and that's fine. That's here nor there. It's just like they're not having one. So we won't hear from anyone. But it's like, you heard Blake Harper say it last Saturday after the Pink Out. Like, never did he think that he was going to be so close with a group of guys who come from so many different walks of life. He just met them in June, and obviously they were all there for him in a moment when he really needed it before the UConn game, So no, like, I think so. You don't have, like, I don't know. I hate the buzzword. I really do. I hate the coach speak buzzword, but that's like that's such a culture moment. You know what I mean? And it really is. That's one of those things that speaks volumes about a program, not a team. And I think that's exactly what we saw yesterday.
Not to obviously change this up too much, but there was a basketball game that was played too.
Yeah.
And Creighton obviously comes up short after leading at halftime last night. I mean, this team has just gone really cold over the last 4 games, specifically from beyond the perimeter. What do you think it is that's got this Creighton team stuck in neutral offensively right now?
I really couldn't tell you, because the crazy thing is, Jimmy, is when this team played 5 games in 12 days in January, like, that was when it was scoring at an elite clip. That's when it couldn't, this team couldn't stop anybody, but it scored with anyone, right? And you would think, now that they don't have those congested stretches or a congested stretch, that they'd be fresh, that they'd have their legs under them. And for one reason or another, that has, like, not happened, specifically, like, obviously there were other things on his mind.
Yeah.
Josh Dix did not shoot the basketball well last night. Josh Dix didn't shoot it well against UConn. Josh Dix didn't shoot it well at Marquette last week either, So, like, when your leading scorer is not, I think he missed like 14 straight threes across the 3 games. Like, when has Josh Dix done that this season? I don't know if Josh Dix has done that in his career.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, it's not just
straight threes.
Not just him either. Yeah.
No, and it's not. And of course, as it pertains to last night, like you knew Georgetown was going to face guard Austin Swartz every second he was on the court.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, they did that from the jump. And yes, so anyways, like this team has kind of like baffled me in some ways, in that, yeah, they can have an outlier performance, and that's what we thought the loss at Marquette was. Oh, it's a perfect storm. This happened, but above all, this offense that had put up a boatload of points went dry. And it was like, okay, when you build a team on shot making, that can happen. You have nights like that when you don't make shots. But the past two games, or the two games since then, would tell you that it wasn't an outlier. In the 3-game losing streak, Creighton is 20 of 88 from beyond the arc. That's 22%. Like, Creighton is not going to win basketball games shooting 22% from 3-point range because of how the team plays and how this team is built. And then you throw the porous defense without a proven paint presence on top of that, and it's a recipe for disaster, really. And that's kind of what we've seen over the past 3 games. When they were hitting shots, they were in it with Marquette. When they were hitting shots, they hung around for the first 16 minutes with UConn. And when they rarely hit shots against Georgetown on Wednesday night, they hung around, and then Fedor Zugic hit some crazy ones late to really keep Georgetown from breaking that thing open in the final minutes. But yeah, it's just it's, as I said, kind of baffling that this team, this program, these players, these shooters have shot it so poorly from beyond the arc over the past 3 games. And that is, Creighton's path moving forward. If it's going to beat anybody, then it's going to have to shoot the basketball well. And they'll have an opportunity to do that against a Seton Hall team on Saturday that, as we know, guys, is going to drag you through the mud defensively. And so the Jays are absolutely, positively going to have to hit shots Saturday. They're going to have to hit shots every game moving forward. And if this team wants to snatch its last opportunity, I think, at an NCAA tournament bid, this team is going to have to hit shots here in about a month or so at Madison Square Garden. And that is what the Jays have not done over the past week and a half.
John Walker of the Omaha World Herald joins us here on After Hours. And obviously the news after the game, other than the Josh Dix news, was Nick Graves' either ankle or foot injury. Do we have any update on Nick Graves' situation and if he's going to be available for Seton Hall?
Yeah, no, again, we don't. I don't think Mac talked about it on the radio show. No. Mac didn't talk about, much other than Josh and his family, and rightfully so. So basketball was like the afterthought.
Right.
Last night. And, that's just, that was fine. But it just was. And again, they're not going to speak before the Seton Hall game, and that's fine too. But no, we just, we really don't know at the moment. He left the game. I don't think he came back in, right?
No, he did not.
No. So, we saw him limp off. He was really grabbing at it when it happened. Still went up and down the floor a couple of times. And then I think there was a timeout or somebody was shooting free throws or something. And he was really, really grabbing at the right foot. And then they brought Ty Davis in. Nick limped to the locker room. He comes back, has a shoe off. They're kind of like, Ben McNair's looking at it. Kind of looked like they were wrapping it a little bit. And then he never came back in. So no, it would be a huge blow. Like, if he's going to miss any time at all. Like who knows? We'll certainly see Saturday.
Right.
But obviously it would be a huge blow because this is kind of right around the time where the newcomers who are going to settle in do settle in. Go back 2 seasons ago, late January, in a trip to UConn is right around the time Stephen Ashworth settled in.
Good point.
Go back last year, a trip to UConn, coincidentally, is when Jemiah Neal settled in. And those were both in late January. So like right now is around the time where the transfers who are going to settle in do. And Nick Graves looked like he had. Like Creighton's offense moves with a different kind of pace when he's at the point. And that's what Greg McDermott was looking for, to help give the offense life, to help drive the lane, and to help thus open up things on the perimeter. Like Mac put him back in the starting lineup for a reason. And so then to have this happen when he had just re-entered his first 5, when he had seemingly settled in, you know, would be such a blow. And that'll obviously, certainly be something to watch on Saturday.
That's John Walker from the Omaha World Herald. You can follow him at By John Walker on Twitter or subscribe to Omaha.com. Buy yourself a World Herald today. John, we appreciate it. We'll catch up with you next week.
Thanks, y'all.
If you missed John's segment, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you tonight by Paul Davis Restoration. Hey, listen, we always appreciate anytime you call one of our sponsors. I had the privilege of sitting in the Paul Davis office today. When one of you called in and mentioned you heard about Paul Davis on 1620thezone.com, it goes a long, long way to help this show out, so we appreciate it. And thank you to our great sponsor from Paul Davis. If you're one of those unfortunate folks that are dealing with a burst pipe, call 402-553-0373 and work with Paul Davis tonight. We give you our closing arguments to wrap up the show. We come back. 1620 Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for our friends at Recon Pest Services. Listen, we've all had bad service from a company here or there. What you don't want to have is bad pest control service. You're calling for a reason. You have a problem. You need to call somebody or work with a company that is going to be able to fix your problems, and we have Recon Pest Service for that. Head over to reconpestservices.com. If you're dealing with a critter that's not supposed to be in your house, or if you're just trying to be preventative of spiders and bugs in the spring, head over to reconpestservices.com tonight.
Weather from KETV Newswatch 7 is brought to you on 1620 The Zone by Certified Transmission.
Mostly clear and relatively mild tonight. We look for low temperature into the upper 30s. Mostly cloudy, windy, and much cooler on Friday. Highs will be in the mid-40s. And we'll keep some clouds and somewhat cooler weather on the way for Saturday as well. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV Newswatch 7.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Hey, Jays fans, it's hoop season, and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vests, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-7098. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-7098. That's 800-575-7098. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 13340 California, Omaha.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Brent Rasmussen of Mortgage Specialists. Here's some good news. Home interest rates are coming down. The bad news? Sometimes if you refinance your home for a lower interest rate, closing costs can be through the roof. So, lower costs on the front end, hidden higher costs on the back end. We're talking thousands, sometimes up to $10,000. Ouch, that's a huge hit. If you're getting more than a few calls from lenders with offers to refinance, give Mortgage Specialists a call. We can help you by looking into all the costs, up or down. Then you can make a better informed decision whether you want to refinance or keep your current interest rate. I'm Brent Rasmussen. Call me at Mortgage Specialists and we can show you all the details. Mortgage Specialists, driven, trusted, reliable.
Click mtg-specialists.com. NMLS number 5918, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Shut her down on a Thursday night here at 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. Become number one in Omaha for over a decade. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. They can do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com. Tonight it is time for our closing arguments, courtesy of Bob Williams of Williams Law. What we're going to do here is all three of us are going to give you a hot take to wrap up the show. We'll post a poll on Twitter, which we absolutely never do. Ask for the best closing argument. Whoever receives the fewest amount of votes will have the losing argument of the night. John Schreiner, go ahead and start us off.
I know after this week why the NBA has a fan problem.
Ooh.
The NBA and the surrounding media have, for the past, decade, lamented the fact that we don't have fans of teams anymore. We just have fans of players. Everybody just follows players now. We don't have the fan support for teams. After the trades made this week, the entirety of the 2018 NBA draft class's lottery picks
have all been traded.
Now play for different teams than they were drafted by.
Yep.
The business of the NBA is short-term gain. That's the business model. That's the culture in the NBA. If we can't do it this year, burn it down and start over. That's what they do. Which means players are on the move constantly, and it doesn't always matter how good they are.
Way too much power. Like, I'm here for player empowerment. There's way too much player power.
But it doesn't even matter how good they are. The best players are on the move in the NBA.
I'm a Dallas Mavericks
all the
fan,
time.
Sean. You don't have to tell me that.
This is like, if you want to build fan loyalty, if you want to build brand loyalty, you have to keep a player for longer than 5 years
or 2.
Like, you've got to have a consistent roster. This is how fans cheer for teams instead of players, because they never know what city their favorite player is going to be in next
or tomorrow.
You don't give them a chance to build a fan to player relationship because the players don't stay anywhere. And that's on the teams and their philosophy and the way business is done, trading players for draft picks 8 years down the road. Like, there have been draft picks for 2032 and 2033 traded this week. What in the hell sense does that make to anyone?
None. Zero.
It's absolutely
the
ridiculous.
NBA draft isn't real.
Like, if you want to know why the NBA has a fan problem, this week should have told you all you need to know.
Dan? Are you going to defend the NBA before you give your take? Kind of feels like you're about to defend the NBA before you give your take.
It's just, so I think a part of it too is that a lot of, like, outside of a few of the names this weekend, I consider myself in general a fan of the NBA. I would go out on a limb and I would say that I'm a fan at minimum. A lot of the names this week that were getting traded, I was like, none of it moves the needle. Like, James Harden went to Cleveland and that was like a whisper in NBA circles. And then Giannis Antetokounmpo posted the, dramatic scene in The Wolf of Wall Street where he says that he's not going anywhere. He's not leaving. It's the word of owners and of team GMs and people like that is taken with too many grains of salt nowadays. And they're in this weird, win now model in the NBA that doesn't really jive with people caring about it anymore.
Agreed.
So
what's your take?
My take tonight is The Athletic is doing journalism that they should have, that anyone should be doing. It's amazing. The World Anti-Doping Agency is looking into ski jumping and performance enhancing, and not in the way that you think. I'm not going to address what it's actually about because, number one, I would encourage you to go and read the article on The Athletic.
Subscribe today.
But let's just say hyaluronic acid in ski jumping.
I read this.
Those are two things that you do not think would go together, yet they do. And I would encourage you to go look at those journalistic efforts about the World Anti-Doping Agency.
Wieners.
Thanks, John.
How much do you hate the NFL going to Brazil and Europe and internationally.
We know how much you hate it.
I think a lot of people are on the same bandwagon as me, but a lot of people have said, yeah, but they're usually crappy games, so I don't care. Get ready for that to go away very, very soon. The NFL picked the Dallas Cowboys to be showcased in the very first international game this year in Rio. Guess what's going to happen going forward? Yeah, we got Packers-Eagles last year in Brazil, and there was a lot of hoopla around that game. They're going to start sending showcase games overseas sooner rather than later, and you better get used to it.
Did you see the other one that got announced today?
I did. Well,
that is a showcase game. It's Melbourne, Australia, and it will be the 49ers and the Rams.
Yeah, and it's going to be divisional matchups too. So get used to that because we don't need to give our fans their home games against division rivals. Who would want that? Hey, if you missed any of the After Hours Lounge tonight, check it out on our radio replay page at 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Bob Williams of Williams Law. If you're a father or a mother and your son or daughter's found themselves in a little bit of legal trouble and you have questions about their rights, maybe you have questions about your rights, you need consultation that you can count on. And Bob Williams is that. Him and his team will sit you down, give you a free, no obligation legal consultation. They'll sit you, your son or daughter down, explain your rights, get you ready for your big day in court, and make sure Williams Law is the right fit for you. Head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com tonight. For Dan Campen and John Schreiner, I've been Jimmy Allen. Happy National Chocolate Fondue Day, everybody.
When I dip, do you dip?
We dip.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot fieldhouse featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Winter may slow pests down, but it's the perfect time to prepare your home for spring. Rodents, spiders, and other pests often show up indoors this time of year. A winter pest control checkup helps seal entry points now so you're not dealing with pests when warmer weather hits. At Recon Pest Services, we're proud to be a local company and supporting